Hey guys, my name is Alex and welcome to Road to Forex. I appreciate you being here with us today. Now we are going over something that again is a bit clickbaity, but as you know from my podcast and from what I do here, my opinion is generally quite different to a lot of people. And as I usually point out, I have been in the markets for several years now and still here. So there's probably a good reason why I have such a different opinion to the majority of people. And again, the majority of people fail in the Forex markets. So not only do I want to show you how much money I think you can make, but actually answer the more important question of what do I think is realistic? So when you're coming into your own journey, you can be looking at this as, okay, these are realistic expectations set by a trader that's been in the markets for a long time and has taught people how to become successful traders. And what do we mean by successful? Long-term profitability, right? So let's get into it now. So if we go over here and we look at this as a starting balance, let's use a prop firm example because the majority of you are not going to use live accounts. Now, if you don't know what prop firms are, you can comment below. I can send you a message or I can even do an episode on it. But I'm going to assume that quite a lot of you do understand what a prop firm is. Now, most people are going to go anywhere from $50,000 and up. So let's go with the most conservative route, which of course is $50,000. So if we go over here and we go into our starting balance, and I simply type in $50,000, right? And I've got it here, I've got it current, so I could set it to pound, I could set it to euro, I could set it to whatever, but we're going to do it as dollars for now, especially because I am Australian, that is what I'm used to. And I will definitely mess up saying the pound and switch back and forth. So what I think is really handy is going over how much money you can make first. Go over that question now, because how much money can you make? Think of a number. You can make it. I know it doesn't really help you out, but it's all theoretical. Say you were to go and be like me, and you want to be in the markets for years and years. You want this to be your job. Well, I started to be profitable about 3 years ago. And my aim from my own mentor, roughly, well, it would be 4 years ago actually when I started. But anyway, my aim when my mentor talked to me was go 1% weekly. Go 1% weekly. If we go over here and I go into a weekly and I type in 1%. Now you might be looking at this and go, that's way too low. I'm going to click off. This is ridiculous. I want more money. I want so much more here. Hold up. Just wait a minute. Because we're answering this question first and then we're going on to the more important one, which is what are the expectations that I'm placing on you? What do I think is realistic for you? So let's just say don't do it for a year. You've got your psychology down, you've got it in here, and you've got a good strategy. Even if it's just a 50-50, right? You trade it and you trade it to your plan every single day. Now we all know that's quite hard in itself, but let's say you do it, right? So let's put that down. Let's go and we say we trade it for a year, right? $50,000, we get 1% a week and we trade it for an entire year. We won't even talk about, profit splits, because they could be 85, they could be 90, they could be 95, depending on it. If we did, let's just say 80, and again, go super conservative. And we'll press this calculate button here, right? Because if we start to look at the maths, all of a sudden your total earnings for that year are $33,000. $33,000, which is quite insane considering your initial balance is 50. And you can go down here and you can say, oh, well, per month I made $2,000 here. I made $2,000. Oh, I made $3,000, $2,000, and so on and so forth, right? Until you get all the way up to here. And you go, Alex, that's not really a lot. $33,000. Well, let's do this, right? Let's just say you stuck in it. And you're like, okay, I'll do it for 2 years. What happens at the end of that 2-year section, do you reckon? All of a sudden, we're on 88. So now, actually, per year, you're making around $44,000. And if you hang on to it again and you say, hey, I want to do it for 3 years. I want to be more like Alex, what we're doing now. All of a sudden, you're in $180,000. So you're making about $60,000 a year now. On average, that's what you've gone for. Your total earnings, that's what's happening right there. $180,000. And it will just keep on increasing and increasing and increasing. Now, what I would say to you is this in your first year, because it is so important. Everyone gets so hung up and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to try and get 5%, 6%, 10%, all absolute rubbish. If you get 10% per week for a year, I'll go, you are insane. I'm yet to do that. I know guys, and this is the truth, that actually trade $1 million account, $1 million worth of accounts, right? In terms of equity. Looking at it, it's like, I've got $1 million worth that I'm in control of. They work for hedge funds. They work for themselves. They built it up over time, right? They kill for 2 to 3% a week. Absolutely kill for that. If they hit that, that's amazing. Same with me here. If I do that, that's great. If I make 10% in a month, that is a huge month. That is right home to your parents. That's absolutely insane. Like, hey, we made it. They do happen. But looking at it, you're not factoring in losses. You're getting really lucky to make around that 10% because, again, you've got so much to come up against every single time you trade. You've got market conditions, you've got news, you've got stuff that you can't even comprehend because it hasn't happened. It's the future, right? Did anyone really think about the Ukraine war happening? Did anyone think about the situation in Israel right now? Did anyone really think about COVID? All of these things have had an impact on the Forex market. Of course they have. Even presidential elections have an impact on it. Brexit had an impact on it. You look at that and then currencies start to fall down. All of these things can affect the market. And we're not even going on to psychology. I've known so many people, and just the other day I was talking to someone and their best student had $300,000 worth in funding. He was $40,000 up. $40,000 up when in his first month of trading. Doing so well. He lost every single cent of it. And that's what I'm saying. You're up against so much. If there's someone that's doing that and you're $40,000 up, and those are the tails that are out there, and they're not just one tail, it's not just two, it's hundreds of thousands. 1 to 2% then actually seems way more realistic, right? But if we do this and we look at it and go, oh, okay, I only made 1% for the year, 1% a week, sorry, I should say, for the entire year, I only made $33,000. I can't live off that, really. It's awesome, don't get me wrong, but I can't do that. That's not sustainable. I need to make $60,000. I need to make $70,000. Why don't you just get a second account, right? Copy trade it, get a second account, and just link them together. Why not after 6 months, right? Where you look at this and you've been trading for 6 months and you've been profitable that entire time. Awesome. This is crazy. So good. I've just done 6 years instead of 6 months. Sorry, guys. I was like, you just made $1 million? Surely not. Anyway, calculate that. We come over here and we see what it is. $14,000. Could have done that easy maths anyway. But you make $14,000. You know that roughly, if you open another account now, because you now know you're profitable, you've done half a year, you're pretty good, you're pretty set. You open another one, that means on one account for the entire year, you've made $30,000. But the second account, you've made $15,000. And now all of a sudden you're about $45,000 up. And now you start to get it. Now the tables actually start to turn. The tables start to turn. The wheels start to turn in your mind. And you go, okay, cool. Why not do what I'm doing? Every single trade I place for my Forex accounts, for example, I have 3 accounts. Every single time I place a trade, they all copy over. I know I'm a successful trader. I know I actually don't have to get that much every single week. Why do I? It's so much easier to get 1% than it is 10. I could go for it every single time, and I will. I'll try. But I'm not mad if I do that, because now every time I make a trade, I make 3%. That's what I'm making. And that's with a $50,000 account. If you said, hey, for the other two, I'm already profitable. I've been doing this for 6 months. This is what I tell my mentorees, right? This is big. And then I say to you, okay, you need to get 2 more accounts. What if you both did it for $100,000 in that 6 months? Then all of a sudden, you get $33,000 at the end of the year for your 50K account, and you've doubled that here. So of course, If we did something like this, changed it around, and I could actually type $100,000 percentage a week there, and you just went and calculate it, you're going to see, oh, it's $28,000, roughly the same. So then you've made 28 times by 2. How does that sound to you? How does that sound to you? Because that's what? $56,000 plus the 33 on your other 50K account. Yeah. Now, of course, this does depend on the fact that you're not taking any money out of your accounts, which I'm assuming you will at some point. And this is taking into account that we have losses. That's why it's on 1%. Because I think you're going to have some losing weeks. I think you're going to have maybe a losing month. I don't really think that is the giveaway there. I know. It's going to happen to everyone. It happens to me. It happens to my trading partners. It happens to my mentorees. It happens to everyone. There are going to be losing times every single day. Or if it's not that day, it's going to be the next day. If it's not that day, it'll be the day after that. Last night, had massive loss streaks. So that's it. That answers the question there. Hopefully that all makes sense and you've now got a good responsibility in your head and you know that you can make it. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe. And if you've got a question, put it in the comments and I'll get there soon. See you guys. Bye.